Hi, this is LindaGRobert, your solution lady and your coach, with part 2 of the Are You Ready for Change? A couple of weeks ago, I did a short video on readiness, and I talked about the readiness model, which has several stages on it: pre-contemplative, contemplative, action, maintenance, and then at the end it's a termination. I mostly concentrated on the contemplative and action because at that time I was contemplating being more active, and I had set up some activities to get me going. So this video is a follow-up to that first video. And it's not so much about me reporting to you, but it's also to share about some of the processes that I went through to eventually get into the action phase. So as you know, I had been thinking about it for some time, but I hadn't made any concrete steps towards that goal that I had, which was to be more active. I mentioned that I had signed up for the Santa Run, and I did complete the Santa Run. That was a couple of weeks ago, and I was, are you ready for this? The last participant to come in from the 10K activity. Now, the 10K was actually a run. I decided to walk it instead of run it. And I was the last one to come in for the 10K, which was absolutely fantastic because the idea was that I wanted to walk that activity, and I wanted to finish that activity. And so during the 10K, it was interesting because I noticed some of the 1K walking by me and the 3K children walking by me. And then, finally I came to the end, and it was fun. It was interesting that I finished it when I did. And I was really happy. The next day, though, I was extremely sore. And so that soreness could have discouraged me from continuing to be active. So I'm just going to pause on that for a second, because what happens when we set a goal, or we have the intentions of setting goals, sometimes we aren't always aware of what the outcomes could be or the consequences can be. And sometimes we can get discouraged from those consequences or from those outcomes and go, forget it, I'm not going to do it anymore. So you need to understand that when there's any changes, whatever type of changes you want to do, there will be consequences. There will be outcomes as a result of that, just that initial change, even though it's a slight change. And sometimes it could be while the other people that are around you are going, oh, what are you doing? Why didn't you come to this thing? Or, how come you have to do this now? Or, well, you never did. You might hear comments, for example, that could be discouraging, or that could tell you, why am I doing this? Or that could actually start, getting you thinking about the purpose of your goal. And sometimes during this initial action phase, you might say, forget it, I don't want to continue doing this anymore. So an easy fallback and relapsing, we used that term the last video. Relapsing is just going back to the old behaviors. So keep that in mind. You may want to prepare for that, knowing that there could be some backlash into some of the changes you do want to make in order to be actively pursuing that goal. So another thing that I did was I did register for the why. Now, for a moment, I was debating, should I go with the why and should I go with the good life? At the end of the day, part of that was I want to say self-sabotage, because I wasn't focused on being active. I was focused on making the decision to be active. Like, who cares if I go to the Y, or who cares if I go to Good Life, or who cares if I go outside and walk? But that thinking that I was going through in the last week or so before I decided to join the Y could have been considered self-sabotaging. Again, it's part of pre-contemplative. Am I really ready to make this change? And what will it take to make this change? So I did him and haw that whole week prior. It might have been a week and a half. And then bang, I made the decision, and I decided to join the Y. So what could easily happen once you are in that mode of you're in action, but you're not yet in maintenance, obviously, because it was going to take quite a while for that new behavior to set in and then to maintain that new behavior. So I went to the Y a few times, which was good. I also discovered another Y. So in other words, as opposed to just doing the same activity that'll help to meet that particular goal. So if you have a goal in mind and there are different types of activities, but if you use the same activity all the time to accomplish that goal, it might not be to your best interest. So variety, they say variety is the spice of life. So adding some variety to still be in action for the goal that you want will be a better option for you. So that's what I did. I ended up by going to a different Y during the week. I also decided to go dancing. So you want to keep in mind, what is my goal? Like my particular goal was to be active. I want to be more active, and I want to be more active so that I could lose a little bit of weight and feel good in my body, feel good in myself. So what is the real goal? What is your real goal? If it's to be social, well, you can be social in different ways. And what feeling do you want to get from being social? Is it a sense of happiness? Is it a sense of just being part of? You might want to identify what it is that's underlying your goal. When I'm active, when I go to the Y, or when I went dancing last night, like I was active, but at the same time, I was having fun. So I was having more fun dancing than I was at the Y. But I noticed that when there's music where I'm running or jogging, I do have more fun. So you have to start thinking of what is going to make me want or continue to do what I'm doing in order to meet my goal. We are so used to thinking in immediate gratification. So yes, in the moment, I need to be happy. But at the same time, I need to keep in mind that this particular goal is going to take me weeks, if not months, for me to reach it. And it could be the same with your goal as well. So think of the moment, enjoying the moment as much as possible, but also think of the next few months. What is it that you're hoping to gain out of this particular goal that you have? And you want to also prepare for possible challenges, also possible, what some people might consider barriers, or things that are preventing you from doing the goal, the actions that you have set out, which means thinking of either being flexible or also thinking of putting yourself first, or thinking of a time of the day that might be better for you. So you might have to think of a few things, few ways of being able to accomplish this particular goal, so that at the end of the day or at the end of the week, you have been in action to maintain that goal. Trying to think. I think that's pretty well all I wanted to say on the changes model and about being in action. In another few weeks from now, I'm going to report again to let you know where things are at with me. And you may want to do the same thing. So below in the comment section, add where you're at. You may also want to send me an email at linda@LindaGRobert.com and let me know where you're at. What stages of that model are you at? And what actions are you needing to make in order to move it up from maybe the pre-contemplative to the contemplative to the action. So that's it. I hope that you have a great day, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye now. This is LindaGRobert, your solution lady and your coach. And guess what? I was on my way to the YMCA, and it's closed. It's closed. And Sunday night, and they're closed, and I have no idea why. So here's the thing. I could easily go home and say, rah, 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 they're closed, and not do anything, or watch TV or do something like that. Or I can have a backup plan. Now, I wasn't planning on having a backup plan. I was going to the Y. I got my gym bag here. Can't really see it, but my gym bag all packed. I got my music and my iPhone. But that's not happening. So I'm thinking of a backup plan, and there is a video that I could watch. It's an exercise video. It's 10 minutes. And you might think, well, that's not so much. You're right. It's not that much on the surface. But I'll tell you, when I did this video a couple of days ago, I was sore the next day. So I'm on my way home, and I'm going to do the video. And so when I was talking about barriers in my previous video, this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes there's things that might be interrupting you or preventing you from following through on the goal. Instead of saying, too bad, I'm not doing this, or giving up, you have to think of another plan. You have to think of another option in order to get the to go towards the goal you wanted. In this particular case, I want to be active. So I'm going to be doing this this video when I get home. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hey, it's me again. Yoga mat, and I just finished my workout. And I did it, and I'm really happy that I did it. So even if it's just a few minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or calling one friend or calling two friends when you want to build your network, it doesn't matter. Everything you do today, that you do today, counts. No matter how big or how small, you're in action. And keep going, and keep going. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.